Hi everyone, it's Darby with rejoiceandcreate.com, and this is the project I have for you today. It was made with the wood crates, but I wanted to find a way to make it a little bit shorter than the regular crate because I wanted to gift someone one EOS lip balm for the beginning of fall, and this fits perfectly inside here. So I found a way to shorten up the crate to make it so I can fit one EOS or perhaps one Ferrero Rocher, or even 2 or 3 Lindor balls will fit in this crate as well. And I wanted to have more of an autumn theme. So I used the seasonal Chums stamp set and I stamped out the pumpkin. Now the back of the pumpkin was wonderful for a fall, and I just colored the leaves and put it on there for a fall pumpkin. But certainly the front of the tag could be used for a Halloween pumpkin, and that's what we're going to do today. So let me show you how I shortened the crate. Alright, for this project I'm going to use Soft Suede this time for the crate. For the pumpkin and for the little banner, I have a scrap of crushed curry. I also have a 3/8 of an inch strip for my sentiment, and I'm actually going to put a little bit of a black band behind it to make it stand out a little bit more. So I have a half an inch strip of black that's 2.5 inches long. You can make this a little bit longer and then cut it down to fit because I'm going to flag the ends of it. And I also have the seasonal Chums stamp set, and we're going to stamp. I'll show you how it stamps the front and the back of the tag, and I'll show you the framelits to cut it out, but I will actually be cutting it by hand because I stamped the back for this one and I cut it apart, and I'll use the front for the next one. We'll do actually a Halloween version of it with the jack-o'-lantern. Now let me go ahead and show you, even though we won't be using them, they have the seasonal tags framelits, which matches with the seasonal Chum stamp set. And you can see that the reindeer, the snowman, and the pumpkin all stamp front and back. I've already mounted my pumpkin, but you see the front and the back of both of these, the reindeer and the snowman, so it makes a cute little tag. And here's the jack-o'-lantern and pumpkin that we'll be using today. But there are some fun things in there. There's a little bat in there if you're looking for your Halloween bat, Christmas trees, snowflakes, and even a spider web. So it's a fun set to have, and if you buy it as a bundle, you do save 10% off of both. We're also going to use the wood Crate Framelits dies. Now, if you're doing a bunch of these, you can learn where you're going to cut it short so you don't have to waste a little bit of cardstock that we're going to use. But for this project, I'll show you where I cut it. So we're going to cut the whole crate out twice because you need 2 pieces of it, and then I'll show you where I cut it to make it a shorter crate. And of course you can size it to what you want, whatever you need to fit. You can size that one. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, to save a little bit of time, I went ahead and cut them out, and I went ahead and scored and burnished all the lines. And normally how you would put together this crate is you had 2 pieces and you would glue the bottom together, glue up the sides, and glue it together this way. And so of course, because it's cardstock and you want it to stick together, you want to use something heavy duty adhesive like Tombow or Fast Fuse or even tear and tape. And it's normally about 3¼ inches long by about a little bit more than 1.5 inches wide. But I wanted it to be a little bit smaller, not like a fruit or vegetable crate, but more like a milk crate, more like a square or just slightly rectangular. So what I did was I actually scored and cut this to make my crate shorter. Let me go ahead and bring up the Stampin' trimmer. Now you can cut them any length you want, but what you want to do is to make sure you're cutting them the same way, because they have to be the same way in order to fit together. So what I did is I turned it over like this so the bottom of my crate would be up at the top and the side of the crate is kind of over on the right. And I actually put it to the side here. I lined up the very end of the tab at, let's see, where did I end up? 1.5 inches. And the bottom is up against the guides on top. So this is at 1.5 inches. And I'm actually going to score it first. So I'll score it at 1.5 inches. And then I'm going to move it over 1/4 inch, and that will give me my tab. So it's now at 1.25 inches, and I'm going to cut it. Okay? Let's do the same thing on this other side. I'll line up the bottom, and my side of the crate is to the right again. The bottom goes up on the rail. I'm going to line up the ends of the tabs at 1.5 inches at the first, 1.5 inches first, and I'm going to score it first. So I have my score for my tabs, and then I'm going to move it over to 1.25 inches, and I'm going to cut it. And you can see I have a scored line and 1/4 inch, and those are going to become my new tabs. All right, let me put this away for a minute. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to fold and burnish our new score lines. And this is how we're going to attach it together. Now, here, let me bring back a piece of my old one. As you can see, these 3 tabs these 3 slats on the side of the crate were all attached as one tab. We're actually going to put them on separately now. And this was the bottom part. So what we need to do at this bottom fold line is just to cut a little bit of a notch in there. And how I did that is I just folded it. And as soon as I find my scissors, I just cut a little notch right from the fold line out. And that gives me a little bit of a tab both for the bottom part and both for the bottom of the box and for the top of the box. Okay, and you see this one is a little bit notched as well, so we'll go ahead and do a little bit of a notch on that part. And these guys can all just fold over and glue as they are. And we'll do the exact same thing to the other one. And then we just put it together fairly similarly. The only thing that's different is we have to glue each individual tab instead of having one tab on the ends of our slats. So let's go ahead and glue that together. So the first thing I'm going to do is line them up so that they look opposite each other, and the 2 bottoms get glued together. And I'll use a bit of Tombow for that. All right, so I'm going to put it together and make sure all of my sides line up without much overhang. Okay, give that just a moment to dry. And now what I'm going to do is I'll glue the end of the crate onto the bottom part of it, so on both sides. Let me go ahead and put a little bit of glue there. So we'll set that up, and I'll glue that bottom part up. Let me hold it for just a minute so it sticks. And then we'll do the same with the other one. I'll hold the bottom part up and we'll stick it on there. We'll just hold it there till it sticks. Let me just take my bone folder and burnish it down just a little bit, because I don't want it coming apart. All right, now all we have to do is glue these 2 tabs for the end of the slats in place. And I'll do one side at a time, just so I get them lined up nicely. So I'll take those and I'll line these up. Oh, I gotta do the bottom one too. Let me glue that one as well. Okay, so let me go ahead and line these up. And I'm just eyeballing that I have an even slat all the way across. I might move that up a little bit. And there we go. Well, that one needs to come up a little bit too. Okay, so I have an even slat all the way across. And let me just hold that for a minute. Get some of the excess glue out of there. Okay, and I'll do the exact same thing to the other side. We went ahead and glued all the slats in place, and now isn't that adorable? Now we shortened it up. Now it's only 2 inches long, so we took about 1.25 inches off of the length, and you can even make it into a little square crate if you want to. I just wanted to have it big enough so I could fit another EOS in there, and I probably could have made it a wee bit shorter, but I like having a little bit of that shredded paper in there as well. So let me go ahead and show you how I decorated it. So I took my crushed curry, and the stamp is together. The back and the front of the tag go together, but in this pumpkin stamp, it's really cute, and you can use them separately. Oh, I didn't get enough of a good on there. Let me get a really good impression. Okay, here we go. Oh, much nicer. So as you can see, the front of it looks like a jack-o'-lantern, and it makes a very cute tag if you use it for a tag, but the back of it just looks like a pumpkin with vines, and it would really make a nice autumn or fall decorative object. And if you use it as a tag, it folds over like that, and you can use the framelits to cut both of them out. But because I'm only using the front of it this time, I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut that. Alright, so I'm going to use the old olive marker to color in the leaves. On this one, I used the garden green on the other one. But I wanted something that had a bit of more of a worn, old-time look on this one. And I'm not being very fussy. I'm not a very stay-in-the-lines kind of person usually. So I used the old olive on that one. I'm going to pick a little bit of a darker green, the Always Artichoke, just to go ahead and color in the vines. Alright, now I'm going to use a bit of a pumpkin pie. Do I want pumpkin pie? Yeah, I'm going to use a bit of the pumpkin pie to go ahead and color in the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. And give it a little bit of the accent. Oh, where did I put my pumpkin pie? There we go. Give it a little bit of the accent with the basic black. And I'll use the tiny end on that one. So I'm going to now stamp my little sentiment banner to go in front of it, and I have a 3/8 inch by, it's about, maybe about a little over 4 inches, but I'm going to cut it down piece of crushed curry, and I'm stamping the Trick or Treat, because I'll do a Halloween version from the seasonal Chums stamp set, right in the middle there, and I'll also use Soft Suede for that one. Let's see if I can get it lined up straight in there. Ooh, I'm way off on that one. Okay, let's try again. Alright, that one's much better. So I'll go ahead and cut it down, and I'm going to make a flagon on both ends. And I'm going to layer this one over a 1/2 inch piece of the basic black cardstock. And I'm going to go ahead and, actually I'm going to flag it but a little bit shorter. So let me flag one of the ends. I like the other one, but I thought it kind of faded into the background a little bit. Alright, so I want to actually make it a little bit shorter, so I'll make it right there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use some snail. And just put that right on top of that one. There we go. And then I'm going to glue, actually I'm going to use a little Tombow and glue it right to the center of the crate. And move them up just a wee bit, because on this one I'll go ahead and put the Trick or Treat down below a little bit. So move them up just a little bit more. And I'll use a couple of dimensionals to pop up the Trick or Treat. And I have some of the minis, so I'll go ahead and use those. Alright, so we'll go ahead and put that right across the bottom. Center it right below the jack-o'-lantern. And there we go, have a Trick or Treat on that one. Now I like having a little bit of the shredded paper in there, and you can get it at the Dollar Tree or in other places, but when I have some extra retired paper, I actually use these, which are the Fringe scissors. And these are retired, but there's actually still some that are available on the retired list. So if you wanted to use these as well to make yourself some little fringes or to make some shredded paper. I cut into the end of the paper, and this is retired paper, and I go ahead and just crumple it up a little bit first because it helps me, and then I'll simply go by with a pair of scissors and cut it all off. Oh, I got some together on that one. Alright, and then I crumple it all together and put them in my little crate. Of course, I would probably put a little bit more in there, but for saving time, I'll just go ahead and go with what I have. And I have my other EOS in there, and it makes a beautiful fall decoration. There's the one, and here's the other one I made before, Hello Fall, and I made this one with Garden Green and still with crushed curry, and used the Hello Fall from the seasonal Chums stamp set. So it makes a really adorable little favor, and you can make the crates as long or short as you want. I hope you enjoyed the project today, and I hope you give it a try. It's a lot of fun adjusting the size of the crate for what you need, whether it's one EOS lip balm for the temperatures that are cooling down, or even a Ferrero Rocher or a few Lindor balls would fit nicely in there, or a handful of harvest corn. That would be very tasty after a festive fall dinner. So if you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up. I do appreciate that. And you're welcome to stop by my website at rejoiceandcreate.com, and you can shop through the link there as well. And until we meet again, I hope your days are blessed. Bye!